Well, I don't have my coffee cup tonight, so I'm not going to take a sip of coffee as we start. So we're just going to kind of get the ball rolling. So we're going to be in Daniel chapter 10, and probably not even going to read from Daniel 10 tonight. We've done that the last two nights, but it's kind of launched us on this study of angels. And we've talked about angels for the last couple of nights, but tonight I want to talk about what angels do. Why do we have angels, and who are they, what are they, and what do they do? And we're going to be in Hebrews chapter 1 a lot this evening, so you might want to turn there with me. We're going to read a significant portion of Hebrews 1. But what we find in Daniel is the curtain is pulled open, and we get to see a picture of what takes place beyond the sphere that we can see, beyond the visible physical human sphere that we live in. We got to see some of the spiritual elements that take place, and we see this spiritual warfare. We talked a little bit about that in Ephesians, the spiritual armor that we're supposed to put on. I can't stop the yawning. I'm sorry about that. And we get to see in the book of Daniel this scene that is somewhat perplexing, of the angel of the Lord coming to Daniel to answer his prayer, but he's delayed 21 days. He does battle on the way to earth, and to the extent that Michael, the archangel, has to come and assist him to get him through to answer the prayer. Now, how does that happen in a sovereign world where God is in control of all things? Well, God uses the spiritual world to impact you and I in our physical world. And our life here on earth is spent being redeemed. We are fallen, sinful creatures, and we are on this earth living out the life in the flesh in such a way as to be redeemed and be rejoined to God, to be reconnected with Him, if you will. What's the word I'm looking for? Reconciled. That's the word. Not but reconciled. That's the whole point of the life on this earth, is to get us to that reconciliation. Well, Satan is allowed to have a certain amount of sway over us because he is working out our salvation with us. Our salvation is a gift of God, but we still have to be brought back to God. We have to get on the same page with God. That's what the walk of I can't even think of my words tonight. Sanctification, justification, sanctification, that's the word I'm looking for. We're sanctifying ourselves. We're trying to be more Christ-like. And it's the tempter, the one who accuses us and attacks us. He sharpens us. He makes us stronger. So there's this enemy who is trying to separate us from God, but his attacks are actually making us stronger and building us into better spiritual beings ourselves. But then there are the angels of God who defend us and protect us and fight that spiritual element in a plane that we don't see. So that's what Daniel 10 is all about, as we get a little glimpse into that world. Now, these angels, if we ask ourselves, who are they and what are they? They are not divine. They are not God. They are servants of God. They are created beings, created by God for whatever purpose He creates them for. They have various different purposes. We see that throughout the scriptures. They're not eternal. They're not omnipotent. They're not omniscient. They don't know everything. They can't be everywhere. They are finite, created beings. But they are powerful beings. They can do things that you and I can only imagine. And whenever these angels show up on earth, they bring fear. There's never this warm, cuddly, oh, look, there's an angel over there. That doesn't happen. When an angel shows up on earth, people fall on their face in fear and terror of what they're seeing. Now, Mary, Gabriel visited Mary, and the first words out of Gabriel's mouths were, "Fear not." Then Gabriel visits Joseph. First words out of Gabriel's mouth, "Fear not." When the angels appear before the shepherds, "Fear not." So we are afraid of these beings because we can't imagine them. We have cartoons that picture them as little babies with wings and wearing diapers. And you're right, that's not what an angel is. An angel is both astoundingly beautiful in one sense, but completely horrifying in another, because we can't grasp the glory of God that's reflected through them. That's just too much for us. So angels are personal beings that have intelligence and emotion. In Daniel 10, we see that the angel understands prayer, understands what prayer is about and what Daniel was doing. The angel dialogues with Daniel. He understands and communicates with Daniel. So we know that about angels. In Luke chapter 15, the angels rejoice. So there's joy in the angels. And 1 Peter tells us that angels long to look into redemption. The angels have not fallen. They don't know and understand redemption. They long to look into redemption because it's perplexing to them. How can humans, these vile, sinful, rebellious creatures, be worthy of God's redemption? Where God so loves us, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. That's perplexing to the angels. They don't understand that, but they serve God. So that brings us to, what do angels do? Well, they serve. They are ministering spirits. Hebrews chapter 1:14 says they are ministering spirits. Listen to how Hebrews chapter 1 describes angels. This is, we're going to start in verse 3 as it describes Christ, okay? "And he is the radiance of his glory and the exact representation of his nature, and upholds all things by the word of his power. When he had made purification of sins, he sat down at the right hand of the Majesty on high, having become as much better than the angels, as he has inherited a more excellent name than they." So the name of Jesus is above the angels. He is not an angel. That's a misconception. Jesus was never an angel. He's not a created being. He was in the beginning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So he was not created ever at any time. And then in verse 5 of Hebrews 1, "For to which of the angels did he ever say, 'You are my son, today I have begotten you'? And again, I will be a father to him, and he shall be a son to me. And when he again brings the firstborn into the world, he says, 'And let all the angels of God worship him.'" Now there is a case of the angels worshiping a human. Okay, Jesus was both fully man and fully God. And when he was brought into the world as the firstborn of all creation, the angels of God were to worship him. And he had a human nature to him at that time. So that's an interesting element about angels. "And of all the angels," he says, "who makes his angels winds and his ministers a flame of fire. But of the Son," he says, "your throne, O God, is forever and ever. And the righteous scepter is the scepter of his kingdom." Listen to that verse. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 8. He says of the Son, "Your throne, O God, is forever and ever." Does anybody ever question whether Jesus was God or not? Hebrews chapter 1, verse 8. God says to Jesus the Son, "Your throne, O God, is forever and ever." Okay? Verse 9, you have loved righteousness and hated lawlessness. Therefore, God, your God, has anointed you with the oil of gladness above your companions. And you, Lord, in the beginning laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of your hands. They will perish, but you remain, and they all will come old like a garment, and like a mantle you will roll them up. Like a garment they will also be changed, but you are the same, and your years will not come to an end. But to which of the angels has he ever said, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet? Are they not all ministering spirits sent out to render service for the sake of those who will inherit salvation? So angels, their function is to minister to you and me. They are there to help accomplish God's plan of redemption, and they are sent to us as ministering spirits to help us inherit salvation. Now, they are messengers. In the Greek, in particular, the word angelos means the messenger, to bring the message to somebody. That's what an angel is. An angel is a messenger. Gabriel repeatedly appears in the scriptures as a messenger of God. And now, here's something important to notice, okay? Angels never bring a new doctrine. An angel will always give a message that is supported by truth. If there is a new doctrine that comes about, it is a false doctrine. What does Paul say in Colossians? Let's see. In Colossians chapter 1, where is that? Where is that in Colossians, where Paul talks about the gospel message? If anyone preaches to you a different gospel, why don't I see that here? Because of the hope laid up for you, of which you previously heard in the word of truth, the gospel, which has come to you, just as in the world also it is constantly bearing fruit and increasing, even it has been doing since the day you heard of it and understood it, just as you heard from Epaphras, our beloved fellow bondservant, who is a faithful servant of Christ on our behalf. Let's see. That's crazy. It's like I look this up regularly, and it's like my eyes are blinded from seeing this. Galatians, duh. Oh man, it's in Galatians chapter 1. No wonder I'm sitting there for 2 minutes looking at Colossians for a verse that's in Galatians. Here it is. Okay, I am amazed that you are so quickly deserting him who called you by the grace of Christ for a different gospel, which is really not another, only there are some who are disturbing you and want to distort the gospel of Christ. But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary to what we have preached to you, he is to be accursed. So an angel cannot bring you a message contrary to the gospel, because that angel would be cursed. That's what a demon is. A demon is somebody who a demon is an angel that has rebelled against God and is now cursed. That's what a demon is. Okay, well, sorry about that little excursion there in the book of Colossians while I was looking for a verse in Galatians. So the angels engage in spiritual conflict. We see that in Daniel with the battle with the prince of Persia, and then later the prince of Greece. Here's what Daniel teaches us, okay? We're going to wrap up Daniel 10 here today, okay? Number 1, prayer moves heaven. Okay, let that sink in for just a minute. Prayer moves heaven. Now, God is sovereign. His will always hold sway over any human will, but he allows human beings to pray and to move heaven. And Daniel did that. Now he fasted, he mourned, he prayed, and he waited. And God moved. And God moved from day one. Those 21 days of battle where the angel with the answer was delayed, that was divine intervention. God wanted Daniel to pray and fast and mourn for 21 days. He could have given him the answer right off the bat, but this is a good spiritual discipline for Daniel. Let Daniel pray for 21 days to get what he wants. Angels are assigned an order with God. There are archangels, there are cherubim and seraphim. There's rank and roles and assignments with angels. So there is a structure, there is a hierarchy of the angels. And the angels don't rule over this world. There's a very dangerous movement in the world today to elevate angels higher than what they are. That's very dangerous, because it really is making the angels out to be God himself. This is God's world. God rules this world. He is sovereign, not the angels. The angels are sent to serve God and to serve us. That's what they do, and that's their role on this earth. We can't make them out to be more than what they are. They are servants created to accommodate the redemption on this earth and God's will and God's plan in heaven. So let's end this here, okay? Angels are not to be prayed to. Angels are not to be worshipped. They are not personal spirit guides. Those are demons. Demons present themselves as spirit guides. So when somebody comes to you and says that they converse with demons, they can conjure up, or they converse with spirit guides, and they have conversations with them, those are demons. Okay? There's no such thing as a spirit guide. There are demons and there are angels. And demons will manifest themselves to you in a way that makes them seem like they might be a loved one at a seance. They take the form and appearance, the voice, or the characteristics of your loved one to impersonate them and to get you to think that is your loved one. Human beings, our bodies cease to exist. Well, they don't cease to exist, but they cease to hold our spirits when we die. Our spirit goes to be with the Lord. It doesn't wander around the world appearing to people and moving objects and stuff like that. That stuff is done by demons, okay? Your spirit, when you die, goes to be with the Lord. So any kind of seances or conjuring or stuff like that, that's all demonic. Now, likewise, I don't know if you watched the Grammys, but there was a lot of satanic, demonic stuff in there. And there are no false gods, okay? Let me say that. There are no false gods. There are only demons who manifest themselves as those false gods. All those false gods in the Old Testament, those were demons that are trying to take God's place and replicate what God offers. So angels are not to be prayed to. They're not to be worshipped. They're not to be personal spirit guides. They are there to serve God and to communicate with you when God sends them. So I think that's enough about angels here tonight. We're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about chapters 11 and 12. We'll kind of get those done over the next couple of days, and then we will be moving on to the next of the prophets. Daniel is the last of the majors of Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, and then Daniel. So we will head into the minor prophets after chapters 11 and 12. So, all right, everybody, that's it for tonight. Sorry about that little 2-minute brain freeze in there when I'm looking through Colossians for something that's not there. Sorry about that. But we will be back tomorrow, and maybe you'll get to see a brain freeze tomorrow too. Who knows? I'm always full of surprises. All right, everybody, that's it. God bless each and every one of you, and we'll see you next time here on Digging Deeper Daily. God bless.